Today, professional rugby shatters everything Americans know about contact sport. No armor, no protection. Only speed, style, skill, power, passion. And a time-honored culture of integrity and respect in the hardest-hitting sport in the world. 7 teams, 10 weeks to make the playoffs, 1 champion. Brace yourselves, Americans. Major League Rugby hits now.
Week 1 of Major League Rugby concludes at a sold-out Starfire Sports Stadium as the Seawolves play host to the Legion. Very good evening and welcome to Seattle. Dan Powell with you, joined by Pete Steinberg. And Pete, we've had an absolute cracker of a start to the Major League Rugby this year. We had an absolute nail-biter, an upset in Houston as New Orleans got the victory down there. Yesterday, the late game, Glendale got home in an absolute slugfest against Austin. It's had everything. Add in Seattle, San Diego, and of course, don't forget Utah on the bye this weekend. That's the 7 teams for 2018, but exciting things happening for 2019.
That's right, Dan. 2019, Major League Rugby will be adding 2 teams confirmed, Dallas and New York. And that means there'll be at least 9 teams next year bringing elite high-level rugby to the American public.
And it's a rugby public that's turned out in force here today as we get our first look at the Seawolves.
And the Seawolves have an interesting mix. Their starting lineup is very international, in fact, with a very strong Canadian flavor. They have 4 Canadians in their starting lineup. But if you look at their 23, they have 5 players that have played college rugby locally at Central Washington, one of the top Division I teams. So it's going to be interesting to see how how the team is able to bring this very broad group of experiences and levels together to be able to play today. I'm excited to see what Seattle can bring in this beautiful setting, in this wonderful stadium, and on a beautiful day for rugby.
Yeah, for San Diego, some late changes brought on by injuries has forced coach Rob Holdley's hand, unfortunately, but no real surprises where they're going to get the win here today. Up front, it's going to be Dolan, the dynamic Tui Halamaka as well. 2 players to really keep an eye on in the 8 and the 1 jersey. Plus, you've got the incredible skill set of Ben Seema. You see him there in the 10 jersey. He will have to lead this side around. The late withdrawal of captain Nate Augsburger, that will hurt San Diego. It's going to fall on the shoulders of the young kid there in Ben Seema. But Pete, Seattle also very classy and a great number 9 in their ranks as well.
Yeah, Phil Mack is obviously a very experienced international player, played 7s and 15s for Canada. But I think it's actually on the outside that I think Seattle have some real advantages. So Jeremy Missalanu is going to be really exciting, along with Brock Stuhler. Both of them provide a lot of attacking play on the wings. And then they've got some real strength in the back row, especially with Rykard Hatting, who I think is going to be one to watch, the captain today. And of course, one of the challenges that Seattle have had is losing their coach, Tony Healy, from visa issues. And so Phil Mack has had to step in and not only be a player, but also be a coach and help the team prepare today.
And that man, Phil Mack, joins us right now. Phil, the rugby journey continues for you. You've played all over the world, 7s and 15s for Canada. Now leading the Seawolves here as the coach, also playing. How's it been for you so far here in Seattle?
Oh man, just excited to get out and play. We've put a ton of hard work in the last couple months. You know, it's all lead up to this this game here and the rest of the MLR season. So the boys are just ready to go.
So Phil, tell us what you've been working on the last couple of weeks and what you would like to see from your team today.
Just composure. I think you know, high-level rugby is about doing the simple things really well, and that's something that we've focused on as a group. You know, I think we have a lot of really aggressive guys in the team, so that defensive aggression will be there, but we need to do all the simple things really well.
Well, the stage is set. When we return, we will be ready for kickoff here. It's Seattle versus San Diego coming right up after this.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we would like to honor the life of Bob Duffy.
See if I did anything.
In 1978, the Valley Kangaroos Rugby Football Club was founded as part of the Western Washington Rugby Football Union. The Valley Kangaroos are celebrating 40 years of rugby.
Cheers, Scott Wood died.
Congratulations to the other club founders, current
Heart
players,
attack.
old boys, and fans who are in
Yesterday.
attendance today.
Wild.
The entire rugby community is saddened by the recent passing of one of the greatest centers and founding members of the Valley Kangaroo Rugby Football Club, Robert E. Duffy, otherwise known as Bob. Bob will forever be celebrated by the Valley Kangaroos. Now we ask you to please join us for a moment of silence to honor Bob Duffy. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats for the presentation of our nation's flag. Presented tonight by Joint Base Louis McCord, color guard under the direction of Sergeant Timothy Nicholas. Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem, performed today by a talented local musician who's been rocking the anthem at Seattle sporting events and around the world for years. Please give a warm Seawolves welcome to a Seattle favorite, Diana Leppa.
Major League Rugby is brought to you by Virginia Mason, proud to be the exclusive medical care provider of your Seattle Seawolves. BECU, proud to support the inaugural season of the Seattle Seawolves. BECU, you own it. And Ivar's Restaurant, keeping clam since 1938 and proud partner of the Seattle Seawolves. And welcome back, Starfire Sports Stadium, just on the outskirts of beautiful Seattle. Dan Power with you, Pete Steinberg on the call as well. And Pete, a lot of fans tuning in, they know the game, but we've also looked to capture some new fans. Talk to us a little bit about rugby rules for rookies.
Absolutely. So there's 15 players on the field at any time, and then there's 8 reserves that can replace any of those players only once. The wonderful thing about rugby is everyone gets to play defense, everyone gets to play offense. So everyone gets to run with the ball, and everyone gets to tackle the person running with the ball. So you'll see a lot of people being able to do lots of things. It's a multidisciplinary game. And then there's 5 different ways to score, and you'll see maybe some of those today. Certainly a try, which is when you touch the ball down in the end zone. And then you get a conversion, which is like an extra point in football where you have to kick it afterwards. And then the other very likely one that we're going to see is a penalty. So if there's an infringement, they can kick and they can get 3 points. Other things that you're going to see is you can't pass the ball forward. So you'll see everyone has to be behind the ball. And in fact, in rugby, if you're in front of the ball, you probably can't play.
And here we go, the Legion out of San Diego. Just warming up the shoulders there for what they will anticipate to be a very physical encounter against the home team in the Seawolves. We are moments away from kickoff here.
And it's interesting, Dan, you see them taking those hits into those bags. Rugby is a very physical game, and they haven't been out on this pitch for 20 minutes. They have their warm-up, they have to go back, and then you have all the festivities. And so coming in and actually getting your shoulder and hitting something gets the adrenaline going again, really helps them prepare. You'll see other players doing whatever they can in this break to be ready, so when the whistle blows, they can go 100%.
No, they chose.
Derek Summers, he will be in control of this final game of week 1 in Major League Rugby. It'll be San Diego kicking off. Ben Seamer will be in charge of that duty. They will be wearing their white strips. Seattle in the green and blue, moments away here, as an absolute jam-packed crowd will witness history. Seattle, San Diego, and we are underway. Low driving kick from Seema down to the 22s, well fielded by Seattle as they get first use of the ball here.
Look up! Double! Jeremy! Double time!
Mack keeps it tight. Finds Shermer. Local product Shermer out of Central Washington. Another one of these late additions there, and Will Holder drives his ball back down to the opposite number in Seema, who goes high. We've seen this quite a bit, the combination of Teo and Seema with the high ball knocked down. Now here's Seattle with a chance to attack with Mack. Little jink over the field, Evans does well. Oh, big contact coming in from Ricard Hatting. The big South African, he may have picked up a little ding there. He's a little slow to get to his feet. As the Legion now shift the ball across to the left-hand side. Long floating pass, pressure coming up from the Seawolves. Now Teo, watch the footwork, Mike Teo. Boyer looks for his forwards back in the middle. Strong run from Lamprick. Boyer now, Cow product in the 9 jersey.
Already seeing San Diego play a very wide game, going from sideline to sideline.
They've definitely got the athleticism, this San Diego side. No surprise, based down there near Chula Vista. A strong Sevens influence within this squad. No thought of Sevens play there from Tui Halamaka as the big man charges into the line. Crossfield kick.
It's in front.
Mike Teo called for in front of the kicker there, Pete.
So when you kick the ball in rugby, you cannot go forward unless you start behind the kicker. So right there, Mikey Teo, the referee said, hey, you were in front of Ben Seema when you made that kick. You can't keep running, and he called it back. Real missed opportunity there for San Diego. They had some great go forward. They were playing at some real pace, and I'm not sure the kick was the best option there. I think they could have kept moving it. And the other thing, Dan, is that on those offsides, they get a choice about where they're going to kick from. So they went to where Mike Teo was actually offside. That's why the referee took them all to that side of the pitch.
Right here.
And the Seawolves drive this up to the 40-meter line here, inside San Diego's half now. It'll be Ray Barkwell, one of the Canadians we talked about. The veteran Barkwell finds Shermer. Flat pass, midfield. That's Rasalika, the Fijian flyer. He charges into the line. Now Lenitz. Mack scheming. Comes down this left-hand side here. Picks up the big man in Paulson. Still with the Seawolves on the attack. As Mack moves to the right, Holder. Quick pass, under pressure. Great line speed there from the Legion. And that forces a turnover. Dolan with the ball. Boyer plays quick. Seema.
Manage over.
Opportunity on the turnover ball. Unable to capitalise on that space though. The Seawolves do exceptionally well to get a player back there. And they'll clear this. Out on the full, but inside his 22.
Really great defense. Several phases there by San Diego where they had a really great launch and they didn't let Seattle get over the gain line, so they couldn't play quickly. And I think what you're going to see here is a battle between San Diego playing as fast as they can and Seattle trying to control that. But that's 2 kicks by Ben Seema that I think he needs to keep the ball in the hand, have a little bit more patience before he kicks that ball away.
There we go. That's good. Let's have it.
There you see a nice clear tunnel between the opposing forward packs. Covey with the throw to Dolan. Dolan, just a tower of strength in that line out. There's the Legion, go up over the halfway line here. Boyer to his right. Still with the Legion.
Tackler.
Not releasing the tackle player against Seattle here. And possibly the first opportunity points here off the boot of Ben Seema.
Well, Ben Seema is actually very famous for a kick of about 52 or 53 meters when he was playing for the US U20s against the Canadian U20s to win that game. So this is very much within his range. And I think that Seattle have to be really aware that they've got a kicker that if you're within 45 minutes, they're going to kick. So one of the areas I think is going to be really interesting is the tackle contest, which is when a player gets tackled, there's a contest on both sides. And what the referee said there is that the tackler the tackler did not release. The tackler has to release first before he can go for the ball, and the referee said he didn't do that.
Well, the raucous crowd, absolutely no effect. Ice running through the veins of SEMA. 3 points on the board there. It's San Diego with an early lead over Seattle.
And again, that really came from San Diego getting over the gain line, playing fast, and Seattle right now don't have an answer for that.
And there is the man, Ben SEMA. The future is bright. May want to invest in some sunglasses, viewers. Speak of the man himself, SEMA takes it up outside his own 22. Boyer, a late inclusion in the starting side to replace Augsburger. The action came across from the Glendale Raptors, did Boyer. Cal University product.
Hughes.
I believe he got some scrum half tips from the great Mike McDonald up there.
Hold.
SEMA looks to clear again. Seattle playing with full back though. Turner fields it and shifts it wide. Here's Hatting, captain of the Seawolves. They've got very high raps on the South African-born number 8. There you see not releasing again, this time against San Diego in the Seawolves' favour.
So the referee's being consistent. What he's saying is, tackled player, I want to see a clear release. So what that actually means is the tackler has to actually show their hands. And the challenge with giving away these penalties is you give away the territory and the land. So you can see right here, the tackle happens, and you can see number 7 coming in and never actually releases and shows a release of the ball carrier. And so that's why the referee's standing right there. Great positioning there by Derek Summer, the referee.
Barkwell finds Shermer again. Becoming his favourite target early on is Shermer as Rasalika. They're going to use him as a battering ram in that 13 jersey early on. Well, the fans, they rise, but it's coming back for a knock-on. I thought I spotted that there. Holder, he's filthy on the call. I think it's the right call from Summers, though, Pete.
I think so, and I think, again, it's the San Diego line speed that's putting a huge amount of pressure on Seattle, and so under that pressure, they just weren't able to hold on to the ball. First scrum of the game, big moment here. The scrum can really provide a lot of impetus. So let's see how these guys match up in this set piece.
The set piece, it's the platform that dictates play here. A strong set piece.
Let's go, eights, get in. Bind!
Reset that scrum.
Yeah, looks like a lot of pressure there by Seattle on San Diego, and it looks like San Diego took that down. So you can see Derek Summers came to this side because he wants to take a look at the props on the on the other side to be able to see, because that's where the San Diego prop went down. Let's see if he sees it again.
Bind. Set. Let's go, come on.
And big push from the Seawolves. Not only do they turn it over in the scrum, they get the penalty. Mack, he taps quickly and goes inside the 22. The Seawolves, this is their first opportunity in the red zone here. Lenitz
still have advantage.
Ball is set, driving forward. And let me tell you, if it's not coming through your screens at home, folks, the atmosphere is absolutely electric. Jam-packed Starfire Stadium, and they are loving this.
It was bang, bang.
So Phil Matt really using his experience there. There's a penalty. You can choose to tap it quickly, or you can choose to kick to touch, or you can kick for points. And he saw that San Diego weren't back 10. And what you'll see is that he'll take it, he goes forward, and right here, great drive. But because the ball didn't come out to Seattle, the referee was playing advantage and took it back to the San Diego defense not being back 10. Makes it a much easier kick.
Brock Staller in the 14 jersey. He will have the kicking duties here early on for the Seawolves. Can he tie things up here after 9 minutes? Well, the strike is sweet. The crowd will tell the story. 3 points on the board. We are all tied up. 9.5 gone. 3-3.
And I think both kickers are showing that they can really, on a beautiful day, there's not much wind, they're going to be able to slot this there. So kicking for points is going to be really critical and be successful. Now, what we want to see is, I actually feel, Dan, that the kickoff is really, really critical, much more critical than people think. Can Seattle get out of their half from this kickoff? And that's going to be the real challenge.
Again, it's a low sweeping kick there from Seema. They'll field it and be brought down just short of their own 40-meter line. A good attacking position here early on for the Seawolves, as Sherma runs into some contact. Slow ball for Mack. He'll look to the pocket for Holder. Nope, elects to go for the box kick himself.
You're not bound in. It's obstruction. It's a block.
There you go. Obstruction.
He's not bound in
intentionally blocking the San Diego players from pursuing Phil Mack on the box kick. And that is a big penalty, and now another opportunity, you would think, for Ben Seema.
As I said, was Seattle able to get out of their half? And the answer is actually no. That call was a really interesting one, because when the scrum half goes to set up for a box kick, people can be in front of them, but they have to actually be bound onto the ruck, which means their arm needs to be connected. Sometimes you'll see people stand with just a hand, and that's what the referee saw. What I'd like to hear is, I'd like to hear Derek Summer talk players out of that and say, hey, get bound, but he's certainly blown the whistle a few times to start this game to show what he's looking for.
This one just inside the 40-meter line for Seema. Very similar to his first attempt to retake the lead for San Diego. Unsuccessful, score remains 3-3. And Pete, let me tell you the difference in the crowd when San Diego's kicking as opposed to when Seattle's kicking. There's people down there shushing the crowd when Brock Stoller lines up a penalty. When Ben Seema, it's boos and jeers and everything.
Well, there's a tradition in rugby that you don't boo the opposition referee, but it's new to the game here in the States. Maybe that's something that we can adopt.
Oh, great tackle there from Nick Boyer on Teo. The only problem, they're on the same team, and now the turnover. Seattle, can they turn defense into attack? Stoller out there dancing around. And now taken by Seema. Hadding is able to bring the fly half down inside his own 40. Covey.
There's no one back for the kick.
Advantage over.
There's no one back for the kick for Seattle, so if Ben Seema sees that, he can put it there. Looks like they're finally getting some players back there. Matt Turner's just went back to cover.
The English-born fullback back there now. Numbers down this blind side. Look at the footwork there. That's Tucker Nguenya. One of the most well-known players for the USA Eagles national side of all time, Nguenya. The human highlight reel. Dancing with the sideline. Great defense there. And the crowd certainly appreciate it. You can see the effect the crowd are having on this Seawolves side, really getting them pumped up in those big moments.
And that was a really, really good series of defense there by Seattle. It's the first time in the game that they've actually been able to hold themselves. And here they were just able to drag the player out. And what that means is they get the ball back. When you step out of bounds, you give the ball to the opposition just like you would in a turnover.
Move.
Interesting that Seattle have gone to a short line out, so look for them to hit their forwards in the middle to be able to set a platform to play.
Barkwell again with the throw. Well taken by Hutting off the top. Sherma crashes forward outside the 22. They have to be careful here not to kick this one out in the full, as Holder sits back in the pocket. Doesn't get all of that. And sits up nicely for Nguenya. Here's the counter-attack. Watch the footwork of Nguenya.
Great defense, really great kick chase there.
Midfield, Covey, short ball. Lamprick, he goes hard over the halfway line.
No, he missed it. Just one hand.
Great pickup, Seema. Teo, numbers. They come wide. Duplessis now. Back towards the middle. Firstly, Tarori. Product of Old Mission Beach Athletic Club, one of the most famous club sides in the United States.
Just lots of go forward here for San Diego. It's going to be very difficult for Seattle to be able to hold them off if they let them recycle this ball so quickly.
There They're going to need a big hit to slow things down here. Great hands. Oh, it was on there. Tui Halamaka had the outside shoulder of Suniula. They keep it in. Now Teo. So dangerous. Mitchell. Sherma does well. Always evolving is Aladdin Sherma. Seema again. Had Ngwenya on his right shoulder there. Elected to tuck it under the arm. Covey. Well, you heard that collision all the way up here. Big contact coming in from the Seawolves. Good phase play out the back. Still with San Diego now. Boyd to the middle, finds Dolan. Dolan gets through the first tackle. That's the Australian in Metcha. Barkwell brings him down. This is what Seattle needed here. A little bit of stagnant ball will come up from San Diego. That pass going to ground.
Good.
Tui Halamaka into the line. He's one of the players to watch here today.
Roll away. Roll away.
The former football product.
Just too much, just too much.
We got blood over here, that's fine. Time's up.
So referee said not rolling away, which means the tackler, after they've tackled, have to get out of the way and let them play. And he said the tackler did not roll away. And for Seattle, they were just able to hold on multiple phase, but eventually they ended up giving away a penalty.
You see a little claret coming from the dome off William Rasalika.
Okay.
He'll get some running repairs.
Water off.
So when you have a blood sub, it means you have 10 minutes to stop the bleeding. And if you can do that, you can come back in. If you can't do that, they have to stay out. So you'll see the medics working pretty hard to get him back in within that 10-minute window.
Watch your gate entry. Watch that, okay? Yeah, fair. Okay, yeah.
45.
Seema not going for 3 points here. They're looking for 5. They want to try San Diego. Throw goes over. Mitchell fields it. Must have been a deflection of one of the Legion players, though, as Derek Summers has spotted a little knock on, and we'll pack the scrum down inside the 22 here of Seattle.
Great defense on the Seattle line-out. They got up, they disrupted the throw, and it was just knocked on, but that's a loss. Tremendous attacking opportunity, and now Seattle have a chance to get out of their half. But the challenge that they have is that they've been trying to get out of their half for a while. They haven't been able to do it. They have to get some go forward, get a good kick, and most importantly, get a good kick chase.
The early scrum saw an advantage for the Seawolves. You do have Sione Tuihalamaka, played loose forward a few years ago and now moved up into the front row. They could be looking to exploit some of that inexperience. Of course, you have a very high-level scrummager in Tim Metcha too, who's played some Super Rugby down in Australia, who will probably be getting the better of him here.
And so I think that you can see that the backline of Seattle is nice and flat, which means they're probably going to be looking to exit here with a kick, and they're setting up for that kick chase. But a great scrum.
That's out. Ball is out. You've unbound. Ruck here.
A little confusion at the back there as Mac was looking to get a cheap penalty. For offsides, Derek Summers though, his first time at the dance. Right down the middle though, it opens up for Hutting. Ricard Hutting. He's got support looming up in Suniula. Suniula, he'll get run down.
Roll 12.
Great stuff there from Hutting with the initial bust. Now Holder, offload, goes to hand, Turner. Oh, it's been called forward. I thought there may have been a deflection off a Legion player that caused it to go forward. It's coming back nonetheless.
Referee was right there and he called it the way he saw it, but it all came from Hatting's great vision to be able to come through the ruck. And then Seattle played really quick and it put huge amounts of pressure, just wasn't able to get it there. So you can see here, Suniola gets the ball. Great work on the ground here to have a good post, comes back. This allows Mac to be able to play the ball quickly. Ball comes out, and you can see just there, is it forward? I think it's close enough, but referee calls it. That's what we do.
And we'll be back in 60 seconds. Don't go away. Major League Rugby Seattle, San Diego. And welcome back, Starfire Sports Stadium. We're about halfway through the first half here.
Back up,
3 points apiece, all tied up.
Denny,
A very close call against the Seawolves there as we'll pack this scrum just outside the 22 for San Diego. But Pete, this is exactly the war of attrition we expected from these two sides.
That's right, and this scrum is going to be really critical. So San Diego weren't able to win that last scrum. It was a great drive by Seattle. San Diego have to win this ball. If they turn the ball over here, they've got some real problems.
Boyer.
Great strike.
To his left now. Flat pass, they go wide. Teo, quick hands. Evans can't handle. And the crowd, they let the far winger know it as well.
I mean, that takes some real guts to be able to move the ball wide on a scrum that's going backwards. I think San Diego need to play a little bit smarter. If you've got a bad scrum and you're under pressure, you don't move it wide there, and you can see that puts so much pressure on the handling.
Yeah.
And again, another scrum. If I was Seattle, I would keep this in, I would drive it, and I would get a penalty against San Diego. You do that a couple of times, San Diego gets a yellow card. This is the one area that Seattle have really shown dominance, and they've got to make it pay.
I know, but if he unbinds, the ball's out, okay?
Well, it's a very experienced front row. You take into account Gordon, good
Crouch.
fresh up front, but Barkwell and Metcha, that is a lot of scrummaging time up front.
Hey,
They embrace the grind up there as well. The big boys, they absolutely love it. Mack moves it to Holder, standing flat, holds line. Great pass, Stoller! What a line! Brooke Stoller! He will get the opening try here at Starfire, and the crowd, they absolutely love it.
So, great set piece. They got a slight left shoulder, which meant that they could protect the back row. That allowed the fly half holder to be able to just take it up to the line, and what a great line by Stoller. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. Nice, simple rugby, but it starts with the big boys up front winning that scrum.
Well, they were denied just moments ago. There is no taking that off them. He's done everything except forget to pick the ball up with him to take it back for the conversion.
And we said at the start of the game that Stoller's going to be really dynamic, and you could see he got the ball. Look at this line that he runs right in between the centers and then doesn't even think about passing, goes right around Evans like he's not there and gets a score right underneath the posts. Great start, will really give a big left to Seattle. But San Diego have got to wonder about their defense. There's no way from a set piece that you should be able to run through the centers like that. You have to have better communication. You've got to look up, you've got to see who the runners are, and you've got to take that away first. Don't worry about the wide runners. Take the runners around the ball, jam that space. Don't let that happen again.
Conversion was successful. 10 points to 3, 21 minutes in the books here in the first stanza. As Seema drives this one into the 22, right down the throat of Hutting though. And the former blue ball, he has no thoughts of passing as he takes it back into the line. Now Shermer, another touch for Aladdin Shermer, who's been busy here in the opening stages of this first half. Mack goes for a little dance. Now back to the boot of Holder. Better strike this time from Holder. Just sort of floats in the breeze there. Seema unsure with the sun in his eyes as well. Teo, high crossfield bomb. Hutting no. Well, they call him Wells Fargo. He's safe as a bank. Under the high ball is Ricard Hutting. And the Seawolves now find themselves in the Legion's half yet again. Oh, big contact comes in. Crunching tackle there from Harmon. Seawolves looking to reset their attacking structure here. Over the top, Boyer. That's going to be a penalty every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Well, I think he's actually calling the tackler not rolling away. So the referee's been very, very consistent. He's asked the tackler to release before they play the ball, and he's asked the tackler to roll away. He's given the advantage to the attack, and I think you're seeing that in the flow of play. But I think it's really interesting, Dan, the first 15 minutes, if you said to me, hey, who's going to win this game? I'd say San Diego. They had fast ball, they would be able to move the ball around. But the last 10 minutes, I think that Seattle have really found some things that they can do, and they're beginning to play pretty well.
A lot of experience in this Seawolves side. Thought the late losses to San Diego could be their downfall here this afternoon. So far,
Guys a bit off the ball.
it has been pretty back and forth, with Seattle just making the most of their opportunities in the opening parts.
And I think the scrum is really becoming a foundation for Seattle and what they can do. And I think that's something they'll be able to take throughout the season, is to be able to say, hey, we're going to be the best scrummaging team. We're going to put your scrum under pressure, and our scrum will be somewhere that we can really attack from, like they did with the try.
Stoller to add 3 more. No good, will come back to the 22. As that penalty stays away to the left-hand side of the uprights.
So 1 kick missed each, right? But the nice thing is when you miss the kick, what happens is it's a 22 dropout, which means San Diego have to kick the ball, which means that still Seattle should end up with the ball in the San Diego half, which is a good attacking play. So even if you miss the kick, you can still find yourself in a pretty good position.
Deep restart from Seema, finds Hutting. Hutting, oh, big contact on Ricard Hutting. That has left him on the ground in all sorts of trouble here.
Looked like a head collision.
It looked like Tarori has come in.
We're gonna have a scrum for
a player you've had some experience with.
Yeah, I coached Chris with Ombak, and he's a big hitter. That's a great hit, but that's actually the second time that Hatting has gone down hard, and the referee is actually able to call and stop the play and ask someone to be substituted if he thinks that there's a serious head injury. So you can see right here, comes right in, good shoulder, nothing illegal about it, wasn't high, it was just a good hit, just caught him really well.
He's gotta go off. Okay, well, take him off. He's got to go.
You can hear the referee saying he's got to go. Referee is really important in player safety, and so sort of unusually, the referee can actually ask a team and say that player has to go, they've got a head injury. And that's a huge loss for Seattle, and it's going to be a struggle for him to come back for next week's game.
Well, that's their captain as well, Ricard Hutting.
Time on.
We talked about him in the pre-game, one of the players to really keep an eye on today. That's unfortunate, not only for Seattle, but for Ricard as well. Hoping for a good result out of that one for him.
6, let's go. Crouch!
Looks like they've put Shermer back at number 8, so there's still a lot of go forward and experience there. And again, this is all about the scrum. See what Seattle can do.
Good platform.
Stay close, stay close.
Ball is out now with Mack. Finds a try scorer in Stoller. He spills that under some pressure there. Some good defense from the loose forwards from San Diego.
Okay.
So what happened there was Shermer just went back to number 8. Really great scrum by Seattle. Good drive forward, but with a less experienced number 8, wasn't able to keep the ball in. So the ball popped out. That meant Mack had to scramble, Stoller had to scramble, ends up with a turnover. But that's the 4th drop ball that Seattle have had playing into this hard defense of San Diego. So they've got to make sure that they hold on to that ball when they're in the face of the defense.
Fine. Set.
Good shot with the scrum there. Boyer again under pressure though. They get the penalty there for boring through.
Angle.
They weren't pushing through square according to Derek Summers.
That's one of those calls that every front row forward is going to argue with. They're saying, hey, we're the dominant scrum. Why would we not drive square? So in the scrum, and particularly in the front row, you have to drive square, because if you change your angle and you match someone and you're going slightly in, you can turn them, and that's what the referee saw, and so that's what he's called, and another chance for 3 points. Again, if you notice, Seattle weren't able to get out of their half. So what we call that is their ability to exit. And many teams will have exit sets. They'll do things that allow them to get out of their half and into the opposition half. And Seattle are really, really struggling without a line break to be able to get out of their half.
There you hear this home crowd definitely taking care of their own kickers. No effect though on Benzema. That penalty is successful. 10 points to 6 here. 27 minutes gone.
Great game so far. Really excited. I think both of these teams are really trying to play rugby, but I think that Seattle really have to find some ways to be able to play under pressure in their half. It's Benzema's going to be slotting those penalties over all day.
Will Holder gets us restarted here. Well taken by San Diego. Little Ron Burgundy there for the viewers. Outside there, 22.
Bind up! Good.
Boyer. Great box kick. High, gives the chase time to get downfield. That's juggled now. Rasalika bandaged up, comes out to the missile. Misa Enalu. Signed with the club just 2 weeks ago.
Play on.
Exciting player out of the Denver side, the Barbarians. Now Boyer, middle of the field, Dolan, well played out the back. Seema with time and space. Finds Duplessis. Good run, Tui Halamaka gets them on the front foot. They need quick ball though. Teo goes short, finds Harmon. San Diego recycle again. Now Seema, flat pass, oh, under pressure. That one drifted forward according to the referee. It looked flat from up here as well. And they're unable to capitalize on that pressure, San Diego. Gifting the ball back here through the scrum to Seattle.
So consistently on a turnover, San Diego are moving the ball all the way across the field looking to attack. But when they're coming back, they're actually attacking the middle of the Seattle defense. And right there, Seattle had a two-player tackle. They were able to slow the ball down, drive it back, and that's what put pressure on the San Diego players, and that's what forced the movement forward. I think San Diego need to be moving the ball from one side to the other. I think that way they'll really stretch the Seattle defense.
Crouch!
Let's see if Seattle can work their way out of their half.
Bind! Set!
Better stuff from Shermer at the back this time. Keeps the ball in Mack. They've got numbers here already. Great little exploitation down the blind side as Turner. Strong run from the former England 7-star. Now with Paulson. And that's great work there from Phil Mack, just bringing the attention of the foul play, not releasing against San Diego to Derek Summers' attention. And you would think Stoller here will have another shot at 3 points just to extend that lead, give them a little bit more breathing room of 7 points.
Yeah, so it's interesting because multiple times the referee has called not releasing, and at some point he's going to have to warn the teams and say, hey, get away. Release before you come in. What was great about that play and that break by Mac Turner was actually the play by Phil Mack. Phil Mack is a great running scrum half, and you could see him. He came around the edge, he just held the flanker, and that gave Matt Turner the outside. So Phil, when he can go forward, when Phil Mack goes forward with the ball in his hand, he's a real threat. And again, strong scrum platform by Seattle. So that's obviously their best place to be able to create their line breaks.
Brock Stoller now will look to send his Ram rugby ball flying through the uprights for another 3 points. In what has been a very absorbing first 40 minutes. Yeah, he's happy, turns and runs, doesn't even look to see the flags go up. Penalty successful.
And that's always the trick. If you ever want to know if a kicker's made it, just look at the kicker. If they're standing there sort of bending their body, then you think, all right, it's going to be pretty close. But if they kick it, pick up the tee and start running the other way, you know it's all the way through.
Mac will clear this out of his 22. And you talked about exit. That's probably one of their better ones, although Teo, he'll go quickly. Seema, towering bomb midfield. Picked up by Holder. Holder, they've got numbers here. Suniula. Oh, he goes away from his support, back to the right. As Tui Halamaka is able to bring the inside centre down. Mac. Not a bad option. Turner on the chase. Chase needs a bounce. Turner. Oh, the footwork. Turner. The try. Well, we're going to go talk to the AR, but if it's given, Matt Turner, he may get himself a contract in the EPL after that one. Beautiful stuff from the fullback.
We have to play the knock.
So again, it was a kick by Ben Seema, but look at this. Ball's on the ground, you can kick it forward. The question is, does he get the ball down? No, you don't need possession in rugby. You just need downward pressure, but there was no downward pressure there. Great call by the referee, because I wasn't sure what had happened, but he knew, he was right there and he made the call. But again, Ben Seema's poor kick led to that break. If I was San Diego, they need to keep the ball in hand. That's when they've looked at their most dangerous. Now it's a tough scrum. These are big scrums, 5 meters from your line. Seattle have been dominant. Let's see what they're going to do.
Stand up. Okay, we're not aligned properly. You're having to scrum across. Here's your
That's a great call from Derek Summers on that no try.
One more.
Certainly looked close from all the way up here. On the replay, clearly showing that Turner unable to control that ball as he forced downward pressure. But talk of pressure, it continues here for this San Diego side. They had to scrum just 5 out from their own line. It's been an unhappy afternoon thus far for the San Diego scrum. And that continues. Seattle, they've turned this one over. And Pete, you mentioned before, this continued pressure at scrum is going to force referee Summers' hand, and eventually you'll see a yellow card for these multiple infringements.
I think so, and so one of the things they could do here, which is what they're going to do, is they're going to choose a scrum again, because another penalty becomes a warning and a third penalty is a yellow card. So you can see here, just great drive coming forward, and you can see what the referee calls is the San Diego is coming around, they're forcing the wheel, they're not just taking the drive. The question is here, can Sherma hold on to the ball at the back of the scrum as they're going forward? He struggled earlier in their half, but different question here.
Another good scrum platform, Seattle. Look at that, just marching forward. And here comes a yellow card.
Right. It'll be interesting if it's a warning or a yellow card.
Number 1.
No, it's Tui Halamaka. And we said he's fairly green in the front row world. Let's listen in here to Derek Summers.
You know what happens, okay? Scrum again.
So he gave him a warning.
Was a warning, yep. And for new viewers to the game, if you want to see the power of a rugby scrum, get on YouTube. Type in Formula 1 car versus rugby scrum. It's a great little bit of vision as you see 8 rugby players packing in down against a Formula 1 car. Now what?
Crouch!
I won't give away the ending, but it's pro rugby.
So he's really going to be looking here to see, make sure the loose head just really holds the drive and stays square.
And they're trying their best, San Diego, but the power here from the Seawolves too much, and there's the penalty try. So right under the post.
So what happened there was a great drive by Seattle, and then the only way San Diego could actually stop.
What are we doing, fellas? Fellas, come on.
There's some argy-bargy going on here. I'm not sure that the San Diego players understood it was a penalty try, and they thought they could run with it, and things have got a little hot-tempered.
I don't know. He wanted to take it quick.
So, if you are going to score a try and the opposition does something illegal to prevent it from happening,
give me the captain.
Then that can be the
captain,
referee
please?
can say, hey, you were going to score a try without the without that infringement, and therefore it's a penalty
Mikey,
try.
come here. Cam, you stay here. Stay here.
So here you can see the scrum, and what you'll see is Seattle, as they drive, you can see San Diego begin to turn and cause the wheel. So instead of accepting the drive, you can see how they begin to turn it, and that's what the referee's calling it. He says if you don't do that, then it's a penalty try.
Be cool.
And so I think Cam Dolan wasn't exactly sure what was going on. I think he thought it was a penalty to them.
No, if you listen to Derek Summers explain it, what Cam Dolan was doing was sprinting back to halfway to take the restart quickly. Summers explained you cannot do that. And one of the Seattle players, it looked like the replacement there in Tulutahu, he was just stopping Dolan from getting back to the halfway line.
The new law this year is a penalty try means no conversion.
Correct.
That's what's new this year. And so Cam Dolan was trying to be very smart about it.
And there is the replacement, Tulutahu.
Holding on.
And if this game wasn't intense enough, folks, it has gone up a couple more notches here.
What are you doing?
Right before the halftime break, it would be critical if San Diego are going to mount a comeback to get some points here, down 20 points to 6.
What was the time
So
check,
instead
David?
of going for the 3 points,
David,
they're
what
going
was
to
the
go
charge?
for the
David,
try.
time check?
Last time they did this, they actually were unable to actually win the line out. So it's going to be critical. Great attacking platform, but you've got to execute the set piece.
And we have a 14-point ball game here, 20 points to 6. It's the home side, the Seawolves in the lead. As Dolan, he's recovered, and he takes that line out. The maul is set here.
Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out!
You hear the referee barking orders here, trying to keep this clean.
Keep going, boys. Still moving, he's through the middle.
San Diego still rolling forward.
Advantage lost forward.
They've lost it
Advantage
forward.
over.
Mack kicks this one downfield. Chasing solo though as Seema goes back. Teo, center field.
Move!
Drives it deep. Turner, hoping this trickles into the in goals, and he may get his wish. He'll dot that one down. We'll come back out
No, not yet. A 2.5.
to the 22 for a restart. 2.5 minutes left to play here in the first half, Pete.
So San Diego, they're down in Seattle's half, but they've got to take this advantage of territory and turn it into points. Again, they had the line out, they had a great drive, but they turned it over. They've had 2 chances there to score, and that's the difference in the game right here. Seattle taken every opportunity near San Diego's line to score. San Diego have been unlucky and a little bit inaccurate near the Seattle line.
Evans slices through on the return. The ankle tap brings him down just short of the 22. It's turned over by the Seawolves though. Their work at the breakdown in the last few moments has been exceptional. As Mack, he's bundled into touch. It'll be a San Diego line out. But the Seawolves just seem to be playing a step ahead of San Diego at the moment.
Yes, a great break by Nick Evans, but when you have a break like that, you don't have your support around you, which means that you've either got to stay on your feet on the tackle, or when you're tackled, you have to work on the ground. He didn't do that, and it was a great turnover.
That one not straight.
Not straight.
I think San Diego seemed to have lost some of their composure. Ever since the little fight and the penalty try, they're just a little tight, and you can see them just really struggling to get some control of the game.
Minute 20 seconds.
You coached at a high level, Pete. Mentally, how hard is it when you're getting dominated a set piece like the scrum to try to turn your players around and get them back into a positive frame of mind?
Well, I think it's really hard. And I mean, I think especially the Argentinians who love to scrum will say that that's where the soul of the game of the team is. And so if you can dominate the scrum, you can steal the soul of the opposition. And I think that's what Seattle have done so far.
Almost sounds like Star Wars, like stealing the souls. And so I love it. It's beautiful stuff.
Let's go, let's use.
Here we go, the Seawolves. They will look to go to the halftime break in control. Rasalika goes forward. Mack, no advantage. And here we go. Let's see if the patience of Derek Summers has expired as he's called timeout here.
Yep, I think it is.
Collapsing. I talked to him about it earlier. He's been warned. Off we go.
I think that, so if whenever you look at the body profile of the San Diego loosehead, you can see that he's always going to be struggling. I think he's a little bit outmatched here in the game, and it'll be interesting to see what San Diego do after half time to deal with it. Right now, probably the San Diego coaches are just, let's get into the half, let's not give away any more points, and let's see what we can do to adjust.
Here we go. 2.
Good high look there at the line out. Barkwell with the throw. Mack, flat pass. Rasalika. Great hand. Suniula out to Turner. Turner. You see him just sizing up the outside centre. Saliba there. Leonitz. He's brought down
that's good.
just shy of the 40-metre line of San Diego. Holder under pressure. Line speed from San Diego's been very strong here, putting pressure on the fly half Holder. Leonitz, little juggle, does well. Big man to pull it back in and get it away. Now Turner down this left-hand touchline. Nguenya, he's able to bring him down just on the 22. Tulatahu. Now Gordon. Gordon. Big rampaging prop.
Use!
Slow ball here.
Ball's out.
Tulatahu.
Doesn't have it.
They keep it in tight here, the Seawolves. Looking to force San Diego's hand into committing another penalty down here in the red zone. Already down to 14 with Tuli Halamake in the sin bin for 10 minutes. Push around with Paulson.
They know the half is over and they're just going to hold on to the ball and see what happens.
Suniula hits the missile in the middle of the field. They will keep playing until there is a stop in play here for our new viewers tuning in. You'll see on your screen the clock has turned to red. We are past the 40th minute mark. But we will not stop until there is a stoppage in play, and this could be it. As that spill forward, and you would think that will take us through to the halftime break.
Halftime.
A very dominant opening 40 minutes here for the Seattle Seawolves. They will go to the breaks in control here over San Diego by a score of 20 points to 6. When we return from the break, we will have a special guest plus all the highlights from the first half action.
We'd like to thank the following groups for joining us for tonight's inaugural Seattle Seawolves match. Thank you to Slalom Consulting, Chamber of Commerce, Hilton Chamber of Commerce, the Southside Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to Rugby. Rugby, Wildcats Rugby, Washington Athletic, the USS Seawolves, and thank you to all our Seawolves supporters. Seawolves fans, tickets are still available to all of our getting Seawolves games. Just visit SeattleSeawolves.com to purchase your tickets today. The Seattle Seawolves would like to send a special welcome to those sitting at our VIP tables. You too can enjoy a cooler full of snacks, free parking, and the best Seawolves fans, please join us right back here at Starfire Sports. Later today, April 28th, as the Glendale Raptors fly in to take on the Seattle Seawolves. Get all the action and store your tickets now at SeawolvesSeawolves.com. Rugby fans, root your team all season long and all year long. The Seawolves have you covered on gear for jerseys and the rugby balls, shirts, and sweatshirts. Visit SeattleSeawolves.com or our stand located outside.
And welcome back, Starfire Sports Stadium. Halftime break here. We're now joined by Hoadley, San Diego head coach. A tough 40 minutes for your team. What adjustments are you looking to make in the second half to get back into this one?
Yeah, well, I think I should. Opening 20, it's a good physical battle out there, and then I think we started inviting them onto us a little bit with the length of our kicking. I don't think we were competing on the high balls, and we weren't putting it in behind them. And then obviously with their first try, we turned it over, put it into touch, invited them back onto us and made a mistake set piece. And obviously we're going to have to tie up our set piece for the second half with the second try.
So what do you think you need to do in the scrum? It's obviously a big turning point for you. It's going to be something that you're going to have to solve if you're going to put it out in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. We got two big, strong guys there, but a little bit inexperienced. We've got Tony Papura on the bench, Pat Blair, a lot of experience for us, so we could be looking to make a couple of changes to shore that up for the second half.
Well, Rob, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll let you get back to the team now, and good luck in the second half.
Cheers, fellas.
Thank you. Let's take a look at those first half highlights as well. And it was, like Rob said, a war of attrition in the Oak 20. Teams swapping penalties, Seema for Pete.
Right, so it ended up being a bit of a kicking game at the start with both Seema and Stoller sending them through to get it to 3-3, but then they opened up a little bit, and just a great play from a great scrum by Stoller. Comes through, Holder feeds him the ball, he rounds Evans, great score, all came from the solid scrum, and that was a real key of the game in the first half.
Yeah, and this was really just to turn things in the Seawolves' favour. This penalty try, well, it really dictated that piece in the first half, did the scrum for the Seawolves. This led to a yellow card about 10 minutes after this, and it led us to the break at 20.6, and it is the Seawolves in control. When we return from the break, we'll have a very special guest joining us. If you're from South Africa, you're going to want to tune into this one. Yes, joins us now, former Springbok captain Bobby Skinstad, the frequent flyer himself. You were in Denver yesterday, in Seattle today. What are your thoughts on the atmosphere here?
I'm blown away by the atmosphere here. You can sense it in the air. It's palpable. You know, behind me, the crowd were baying for everything happening on the field, so it was amazing. But yeah, that's right. I was in Denver yesterday to see how the MLR is starting up, and you know what? I'm blown away. I really think rugby has got it right this time. The crowds are knowledgeable, passionate people. The players are performing on the field. The games have all been exciting. So I'm really delighted just to be here and be watching it.
So as a former player with the experience that you have, when you look out on the pitch, what do you see? What are the things that have really impressed you about the American rugby that you've seen over the weekend?
Well, I mean, rugby in America has had a few stuttering starts. You know, I think this is the opposite of that. It's organized, it's slick, the fans are behind it, the teams have got, you know, identities. The individuals who we see on the field are guys who could play international rugby anywhere. For me, it's a quality product, and it's come, you know, in front of the right fans around the world at the right time. So I really think it's a step for me, you know, from here, you know, into the beyond for USA Rugby.
So can we twist your arm one more season, Bobby? What do you reckon?
No, too old and too tired. I saw some of the hits going on here, and I'm running for the hills. Don't worry about that.
Well, we're very excited to have you here. Definitely gives credibility to the MLR brand, having someone of your stature in the game here. So we thank you very much. Not only joining us yesterday, today as well, and hopefully into the future as well.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
That's Bobby Skinstad, former South African captain, two-time World Cup, and the MLR. Pete, give us a little bit more detail about this great competition.
Yeah, so this is a 10-week competition. We have 7 teams. Every team plays 8 games. And then it's a 10-week season with 28 games, leading into some semi-finals on June 30th, and then the championship on July 7th. And because it's such a short game, all of the games matter. So here, the loser here is going to be really struggling to actually be able to make that semi-final. So it puts the pressure on all of the players coming out to play, and all of the coaches as well, knowing every game counts on this abbreviated short season that they have.
And the good news, all those games live on TV this year for viewers. When we return, the second half coming your way. Seattle, 20 points to 6 over San Diego at the break. And welcome back to Starfire Sports Stadium. We are moments away from the second half, and there is plenty of action coming up for Major League Rugby next week, highlighted by the side you're watching here today. Seattle, they will take on Glendale. That'll be on CBS Sports Network. The other games, Houston, Austin, and also San Diego. They will travel down the coast to their hometown to take on Utah, and Pete, all those games live on television. International viewers, they can catch it on MLR's Facebook page.
It's great. Yesterday I found myself watching the Houston NOLA game before jumping in the car and going down to Glendale. So the ability to be able to watch the elite rugby in the US, no matter where you are, is great. And I love ESPN Plus. I get to watch all the Southern Hemisphere games. I get to watch the HSBC Sevens World Series, and now we get to watch the MLR. So really excited. One of the great things about Major League Rugby is the access that they're providing of the game. More people can see the game, more people will fall in love with it.
Yeah, great result down there in Houston. We've got to give credit to Nate Osborne, Taylor Howden, and of course Ryan Fitzgerald, all involved with NOLA Gold, getting the upset at Dwyer Stadium down in Houston. That was an absolute belter of a game. And we have a great one on our hands here as well, as Will Holder on your screen there for Seattle will get us restarted here in the second stanza, just awaiting the whistle of Derek Summers. 40 minutes separate these two sides. It is Seattle in control, 20 points to 6 though.
And remember, San Diego is still down a player with a yellow card, so they still have 14. So it's going to be interesting. Seattle have a few minutes to still make that extra player advantage work for them.
Underway, second half. That one not how Seattle wanted to start. Out in the full. We'll come all the way back to halfway. Well, they're going to take the line out. No surprises, Pete. San Diego, not only down the front row, they want nothing to do with that Seattle scrum.
That's right. It's very, very rare, actually, in the modern game of rugby that you find teams turn down scrums. But you can see San Diego doing that here. But remember, San Diego lost 2 lineouts in the first half, so the lineout has been creaking a little bit as well. And they're doing what many teams do when they're struggling in the line-out. They actually are just reducing the numbers, and that really helps.
I need a guy in the 5 from blue.
That's a penalty, sir. You don't tell him, right?
No, you're not gonna form on time. It doesn't matter. Here we go. In the 5, yeah? All right, let's have it.
There we go. Referee Summers, he gets things squared away here to start the second half. Covey with the throw, Dolan with the take. Crash this one forward, midfield. Good quick ball for Boyer as he'll look to his left. He's got Seema. They've got a good line stacked here. Seema, Salabur, nobody. And that is not the start they would have been looking for. The Legion just gifting possession back here to the Seawolves.
So they got go forward, but then they slowed the ball down there at the ruck. They didn't get clean ball. Seema was a little bit too deep, and that just put the pressure on them. And it's just their outside backs aren't being accurate enough right now.
Good throw over the back.
Backwards.
There's Duplessis. Ducks under the attention of Sherma. Lutahu, though, shuts him down. You can see him with the big afro out there in the 19 jersey for the Seawolves. He's provided some very, very hard hits, putting some sting into the defense for the Seawolves since he's been on the field. Replacing Ricard Hatting, who picked up a head knock in the first half. And another penalty here for San Diego, just on the 40. Down by 14 points, they certainly can chip away with penalties, and they're going to do just that.
So again, the referee's been very consistent. He's asking the tackler to release the tackled player before they come in, and he's being very consistent, and teams really need to listen to the referee. When you start the game, you're never quite sure what the referee's going to call, but as the game goes on, smart teams play to how the game has been refereed. So right now, it might even be better to say, hey, tackle assist, do not even go for the ball because it's just too dangerous.
And for the international fans tuning in who may not be used to this cheering during the kicks, tune into an NBA game and watch behind the basket during free throws. It's part of the landscape, but Ben Seema, he doesn't mind. He's cool as a cucumber. Slots another 3 points, 20 points to 9.
So great start by San Diego. It's what they needed to do to be able to get themselves back in this game. They're down a player, and yet they're able to get the 3 points. And also, that kick slows the game down. It takes time off the clock. It makes the yellow card actually shorter.
Nguyen. He may have lost a yard of speed, Nguyen. He still has the spring in his step, though. Boyer. Rob Holdley, coach of San Diego, spoke at halftime about improving that kicking. The old saying, kick is only as good as its chase, has been evident a few times for San Diego in this game. That piggyback penalty will help, though. It'll give them a chance to drive this into the 22 here of Seattle.
So slightly different call there by the referee. You can see he's moving the arm back and forth. To be able to come in and get the and go and poach for the ball, you have to come through what's called the gate, and the gate is right on the other side of the ball. So he says, you didn't come through the gate, you came in from the side, and that's what he penalized you for. Great kick by Seema, great attacking position here for San Diego. I'm going to guess they're going to go to Cam Dolan. That's the player that was really their key line-out jumper.
He's certainly found an extra step, has Cam Dolan, since returning from playing over in Europe. He seems like a new man, a new lease on life. I've never seen him play as well as he has in the last 12 months, Cam Dolan. And it's good to see. Life University product. Played down for the Naples Bears in Florida, great part of the world. And now San Diego continue to push forward here. Just shy of the 5-meter line. Oh, the turnover. That's a real heartbreaker for the Legion, as they would have loved some more points while they're down to 14.
And that's the challenge with creating the driving move from the line out. People, they drive it, but if you can't control the ball, if you can't keep the ball at the back, when the maul collapses, as you can see here, they've got the drive going, the ball's right there, but as you can see, hands come round. Okay, when hands come round like that, the ball comes down. Because it's a maul, they don't have to roll away. And because they don't have to roll away, they don't have to release, and therefore the ball gets stuck. That means it's a turnover. The opposition gets the scrum.
Fine. Let's go again.
It's going to be interesting to see what the San Diego have asked their scrum to do. Things you can do is get a little bit lower, so you can really put pressure, or maybe just get that hit a little bit earlier so you can get into a better body position.
Crouch. Fine.
They're happy to concede with 7 in the scrum
so
here.
right there, that's what they did. What they did was San Diego went early, but they went so early that the referee called them for a free kick. So that's obviously San Diego's ploy is going to be, we just want to engage a little bit earlier than Seattle.
See the hands in the crowd. Yes, great catch out there for that young lady.
Yeah. Closing the gap.
And off the short arm, this will be a throw for San Diego now. Ball taken by Turori. Comes down. That's short. Quick hands, Turori. And a few thunderous hits in the first half, did Turori. Now Seema, flat pass, Teo. That's an Nguyen. Can he light things up? Nguyen, he's been well contained thus far by the Seawolves. Back to the middle. Looks like Pat Blair might be out there now in the 16 jersey. Dolan juggles. Oh, shrugs away from Stallard as Dolan.
This is the San Diego we saw in the first 15 minutes, playing with width and playing with pace.
Duplessis. South African centre, turns it over. Here's Tunula. Seawolves, they'll look to counter.
No. Still have a scrum advantage.
Mack picks up easy territory with no fullback, finds a line, and there is a polite round of applause from the crowd, who certainly appreciate that from the Seawolves.
So they stretch them, and they, but they were able to slide across, and when they slid across, the tackle caused the turnover, and then really smart vision by Phil Mack, because often on the turnover, the defense isn't in a position. And so to defend, he saw that, he made the kick, and now San Diego are back in their half, and they have to find a way to exit.
Great take from Dolan.
Get out, get out!
And you can tell Pete Steinberg's done a little coaching in his day. He's called this from San Diego. They've made some serious adjustments here, just avoiding the scrum at all costs, using Dolan, their strength, in the line out.
No. He's on the ground.
Need to get some points on the board, though. Nice high kick. Seattle let that chase. Let that bounce, sorry. It'll be a ball to the San Diego Legion here.
17 off.
And they will be back
Spin is
to a
reversed.
full contingent of 15 now as that yellow card has expired, Pete.
And again,
Be
two
careful with
really
that. Play
great
the ball. I
box
prefer you
kicks
play the
put
ball in
a lot of pressure
I
on
know.
Seattle.
Fair.
But Seattle actually haven't found a way to be able to break the Seattle defense. As they've moved it wide, Seattle have just drifted across. They need to have some runners to be able to hold that drift, to be able to create some space. Someone's got to strike through the line.
Tough pass for Seema, and that's what you talk about, just lateral ball movement at the moment. They need some direct running lines. Evans tries to do just that as he takes it up over the halfway line. I'd like to see Evans get a few more opportunities. He looks like he could be quite creative out here on this wing. Boyer finds Seema. Kicks. The missile. Misanalu. He is underneath that one. Misanalu, the recent addition from Denver. Another one of these flyers as well. And timeout. We'll have a listen in here to Derek Summers.
Chris, did you get a clear look at that as well?
You could have him for looks like a chop tackle here, just diving straight at the legs of a player, which is illegal in rugby.
And this is a great use of your assistant referees.
Player drop the height.
Okay. Denny, you okay with just a penalty? Yeah.
So he's just checking in to make sure that it's just a penalty. It's not a yellow card, and it's no wrap. So unlike in football, where you have to hit with the shoulder, you can hit with the shoulder. Here you have to hit with the shoulder and you have to wrap. And right there you can see no attempt to wrap by Mitchell right there. And so the referee checked with the ARs and said, hey, is it a yellow card or is it just a penalty? And they said just a penalty.
3 and 4 green off. Hold on. Number 3 and number 4 green. Subs, do it. Get them on.
Looked like more of a timing error from Mitchell rather than any malice in that tackle. Probably a good call for just a penalty.
Okay.
I think that's right, and it's interesting. Early substitutions, and so Metro's had such a great game coming off. But this is a really good test. I think the bench in all these MLR games are going to be really critical. And so obviously Seattle feel like off the bench they've got players that can continue in the scrum to provide the pressure.
It's like big John Hayden at the back of the line there in the 18. I thought also maybe Eric Deschelle was on the field as well. Better known as the Beast. Looks like he's leaned out the Beast as well as he loops around here. Great tackle from San Diego. 2 involved as they drive the Seawolves back into their own half. There's Hayden.
He's moving, ball's there, ball's available.
Just a little bit too slow here for Seattle. Not much that they can really do.
Great line, Tulutahu. He's taken on the halfway line. There's Deschelle, the Beast. He's also brought down the halfway line. San Diego all afternoon have got up very, very quickly on Seattle, who are playing a very flat style of attack here. Mack. Oh, big tackle comes in. That's an absolute bell ringer. Just slipped up, says referee Summers.
Behind the mark.
Well, that one will make his ancestors' bones rattle. That was a big shot.
It was a big shot, and but to be honest, it was a real waste. San Diego had just shut down. Seattle didn't have any answers to what was going on. They were playing a very tight game. They were just holding on to the ball, and that really bit of a get out of jail free card here with that high hit allows Seattle to move the ball down, set up a line out, and see what they can do. My guess is they're going to keep it nice and tight here, and they're going to just look to play with their forwards in the middle from the short line out, and then we'll see what they do. They're just a little bit too slow, Seattle, to actually be able to utilize the possession that they have.
It'll be Barkwell with the throw in just outside the 22 here of San Diego. Score remains 20 points to 9 after 50 minutes. Mack saw a little gap there, elected to tuck it in. Suniula does well to pick that one up off the bootlaces. Now Mack goes across field. Picks up Paulson. Very tradesman-like game for Paulson. He's worked very hard.
Seattle playing direct and their subs are really having an impact. Great run there by Hayden.
Barkwell though, driven backwards. Certainly have hit the nail on the head, Pete, when Seattle don't play quickly. San Diego get that line set. They move up very, very quickly, very stifling. They need players like Hayden has here to get that go-forward ball, get moving quickly. Mack, he has to play quickly off the back of that. It's Deschel. Drifts across field. Now Holder has his chance. Goes short. Krasalika.
Yeah, advantage. 10 white.
Mack looks for three. Goes for the torpedo drop kick.
Number 10 in front.
And they'll come back. Mack knew he had the advantage. And you would think they'll look to put 3 points off the boot of Brockstaller here anyway.
So if you have a penalty advantage, then that means that even if you kick the ball, the referee will bring it back if it's an unsuccessful kick.
Just leave him.
If you have a scrum advantage and you kick the ball, the referee will say, hey, you had your advantage because you had possession.
And for our East Coast fans tuning in, that wasn't Doug Flutie, that was Phil Mack.
We're not going to wait.
But the drop kick worth 3 points in rugby, so it is a viable attacking option. Pete, your homeland, England, renowned for it. Johnny Wilkinson, probably the best of all time. Don't go and watch the 2003 World Cup final, though. That was a heartbreaker.
Just watch the end of it. Just watch the end of it, and I think you'll find out. So the crowd here is phenomenal. I mean, not only is Seattle sold out this weekend, but they're sold out next weekend. If you actually wanted to come and watch Seattle play here, you'd have to wait almost a month. The next tickets they have available is on May 20th, and there's only 300 of those tickets left. So it's amazing what they've done here with the rugby community, and you can just look and see you can just look around and you can just see the support that the Seawolves have. It really bodes well for the future.
So don't wait, get your tickets now, Seawolves.
I think so. And you can see that the game that they're here and the atmosphere is here is just phenomenal.
And Gaffney, he comes on now as San Diego. They'll look to get the same sort of attacking impetus that Seattle's substitutions have provided with them.
We can't do it here.
This looks like Devon Short has come off the field for San Diego. Some fresh legs now for the Legion.
Time on.
So interesting choice by Seattle.
Right.
Didn't go for points. Went for the line out. They're looking to put it away right here and put the game out of sight against San Diego.
Yeah, they're looking for the jugular. And they go to their strongest piece. The forwards keep it tight for them all. Barkwell to back. The crowd on their feet, willing them. Inches from the line. They have the advantage as well. Down the blindside, Mack. The Superman dive. Terori's able to stop him though. No advantage coming. We come back to the penalty.
So right here they should choose a scrum. It's their strength and they put it in. But in that line out, they did such a great job that the only way San Diego could prevent it from getting over the line is if they pulled it down. And pulling down the ball is very, very dangerous. And therefore it's something that the referees will always penalize. So they said, hey, the referee said, you pulled that down, we're going to penalize you. And instead of choosing to kick and go for another line out, they said, hey, our line out's good, but our scrum is better. So let's put it into the scrum. Let's see if we can push this over.
Well, another yellow card here for San Diego. Well, you could put their comeback on life support this afternoon. The Seawolves, they know their strength, they're playing to it.
Let's use. Now it's going again, that's good.
Advantage again for Seattle. So again, not driving straight and forcing the wheel. But remember, there's a lot of subs on here. So Metcha's not on there, so it's interesting to see that they're still able to get it. But I actually think that's a little bit unfair of San Diego. I actually think that they just held them. I don't think they created that wheel. So the referee's basically saying, hey, if one of your props prevents the drive and the other doesn't, we're going to call it a wheel.
go. Standing room only here at Starfire Sports Stadium. Got to give a tip of the hat to Seattle. What a great sporting city. They certainly love their sports, and they've shown it here today in big numbers. And the Seawolves, they're giving them something to cheer about here after 55 minutes. Better scrum from San Diego. That one's going under the post. That's the second penalty try. 14 points coming by the way of penalty tries off the scrum here for San Diego, for Seattle.
Not again.
So again, they're trying to do a quick kick, which they are not allowed to do. So the new law states that if there's a penalty try, there is no kick afterwards.
And stay with us, folks. 60 seconds. We'll be right back. The second half. Seattle, San Diego coming up next.
Take a water break. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, it's at his
Man, that's just the whole team's getting dominated, really.
We're not going to bring issues on the loose head proper side.
Sure.
We what?
3 white sub. 3 white sub with 30 seconds till the commercial's back. Number 3, you're subbed off. No. 30 seconds until the commercial's back, okay? Let's be ready to kick.
And welcome back. Beautiful Starfire Sports Stadium. After that penalty try, the score is 27 points to 9. The Seawolves, they are slowly suffocating the result away from the Legion here. And Pete Steinberg, the set piece, it really has been the feature of this game.
So, you know, this is so interesting because what people have said is that the modern game, the scrum's becoming less and less important, but that's only true if the scrum is even. Here, there's such an advantage that Seattle have, and they've actually subbed in Hayden and Khalifi, and they're bigger than their props that they had at the start. So it's going to be a long day for San Diego. No more scrums.
Well taken by Cromrai there. For the Seawolves, Shermer. Mac back to the pocket to Holder.
Hold!
Again, looking for the spiral. Unable to produce. Now Nguyen. Goes wide. Duplessis. Well contained, the young South African centre. Middle of the field. Big tackle coming in. You can hear the Seawolves players too. Very happy with their defensive effort there. Tarori, he can't handle Shermer. He may have juggled that too on his way, picking that up. And we'll come for a double knock on.
And that's what San Diego cannot do. They can't just knock the ball on. They have to be very accurate with their catch and pass. They're stretching the field, which is great, but they've got to keep their depth. So Tiori right there just got a little bit too flat, put themselves under a little bit too much pressure, and now we're right here. What I will say is that I think one of the things that Seattle is going to have to work on throughout the season is they're going to have to improve their kicking game, because right there, that's the 3rd or 4th kick that Will Holder has just put down right down the throat of one of the back 3.
Okay. Starts with the 2 of you.
No, I know. I didn't want to fuck this mom get a penalty.
That's fair.
Right here, you can just hear the referee. There's going to be a lot of talking going on. We've got new front row forwards coming in. It's going to be a big test for San Diego just to be able to hold this up. Seattle could actually take this and just drive it, get a penalty, and kick it down to get the line out. Just get out of their half. What I suspect is Phil Mack might attack the blind side. Such a great runner. Gets the right shoulder. He can have a natural 2-on-1 with the wings.
Ball to back for Mack. Holder.
Time off. I'm aware. Okay. We've had scrum issues. You just came on the field. I'm just going to tell you what I told them. You got to keep the discipline. You got to stay straight, or we go off. Okay.
And that is an entirely new front row for the Legion as well. Kapura, Blair on there as well.
Ray, I still got to kick the ball.
And Tuilolo, he was the one who got the lecture from Summers.
So what Derek Summers said is, new front row, I've talked to them before, you have to stay square. So when you're under pressure, what you can't do is you can't turn as a way of receiving that pressure. But great refereeing there, lots of empathy with someone coming in that's new.
Barkwell on point with his throw yet again this afternoon. Suniula under pressure, looks for a looping Holder. Oh, Holder bumps off Nguenya. And he sits him down on the turf here. Nguenya in trouble in back play, but the Seawolves will continue to mount some pressure. Hayden now, he goes for a bundling run up towards the 22. Down the blind side. Turner jinking his way through. They've got numbers to the right if they can use it, the Seawolves. They come that way now. At the back door, Holder, flat Barkwell.
Oh, it was.
Not sure
Okay,
Barkwell was expecting that
Lost
one.
forward, my fault. Thank you, Chris.
Always be expecting that ball though.
So Turner's had a good
14,
game. He's made
sub.
some good runs, but he's not moving the
Where is
ball
he? Is
enough.
he
He
over?
needs to move the ball. Both of the wings of Seattle have great running ability, but we just haven't seen enough of it. And the reason is when the ball gets in the fullback's hands, he takes it himself.
We're good.
I think we need to see
Time
him
on.
move that ball a little bit more to
Scrum
really
here.
open up some opportunities.
And they've replaced one winger with an even more electric Dion Crowder, prime time, out on this wing here in the 23 jersey. He is a genuine finisher. Got the opportunity to play with the Fijian side at the Rugby Town Sevens last summer. The full Fijian side at Sevens, and he didn't look out of place there either, young Crowder. Keep an eye on him in that 23 jersey for the Seawolves.
No, it's an early shove. Blue, not stable. 10 more meters.
Oh, that's just, you know, Ray Barkwell, experienced player, kicks the ball away. Just isn't something that he really should be doing.
And Mike Teo looks to make him pay, taps quickly and drives that well and truly into the 5 meter line. Turner beats the first, can't get away from the second though, as he's taken 10 out from his own try line. Could be a turnover here for San Diego. Even better, they'll get the penalty.
Good, no, 12 from the side. Initial counter up is fine.
So I think Mike Teo really got bailed out by his team because he took the quick tap penalty, which can be smart, but then he kicked it. If you're going to kick it on a penalty, don't tap it first, then you get the line out. I wasn't exactly sure what it was.
Here we go,
They'll
Denny.
drive this one into the corner. They'll have the line out.
5 again. It's full? Full? Okay, full.
So big opportunity here. They're down
Open.
18 points,
That's
but
good.
yesterday we saw Penn State men
No,
come back from
no.
BYU down 19 points with
late.
20 minutes to go. They score here. They've got a chance in this game. It's not over yet.
No, it's not. And we have Nittany Lyon standing right next to me here, former coach at Penn State. I'm sure that was a thrilling result for you as the Legion, they'll be thrilled with that. They get to try in the corner, and not only that, Pete, it's the forwards who get it done. That's going to be a big momentum boost for them as well.
That's right. The forwards have been on the back foot throughout all of this game, but here they were able to do something for their team and say, hey, we can go forward. And Cam Dolan right there. Here we go. So it's a great take. Seattle stay down, but they don't get in good body position to defend the drive. Nice and steady. Look, they take their time, and look at all the subs making the impact here. Great drive. You can see them coming in. Good control. Just gets over the line, and great work by the touch judge there, putting his thumb up and saying, hey, that's a try.
Looks like Derek Broussard is going to be awarded with the 5-pointer, wearing the 19 jersey for the Legion, coming off the bench. And you talked about fresh legs, showing how important using your interchange bench can be.
Off the post and in. So 11 points, still 2 converted tries. or like one converted try, and or at least 2 tries. We get this right. 2 tries would be 10 points. One of them needs to be converted. Not impossible with 15 minutes to go, especially with the horses that San Diego have when they move it wide. But it comes back to what you said, Dan. The forwards need to do their job.
Yeah, we just had a call in. It was actually Chris Terori with the try, not Broussard out there. For those playing fantasy rugby at home, Terori with the 5-pointer. Turned over though for the Seawolves. Tulutahu.
I think Tulutahu had a big game. Had a really big game. I mean, when we said Hadding went down, we were wondering what's going to happen, but he's come in and had
Danny,
big
let me know
impact.
if I need to stop over there.
And still with the Seawolves.
Get out, 16!
Well, San Diego, the last thing they want to do is give back points after they just got that try down the other end of the field. As Mack now moves it to his left, Sherma, quick hands. Picks up Crumry. Crumry, midfield, right on the 22. Khalifi.
Yeah.
Quick hands, Holder. Turner spots a gap, links out wide. Rasalika, the big man, he's chopped down just short of the try line.
In the tackle.
And that one's going to be called as a knockdown as we take a little break for the injured player down on that touchline.
So Khalifi and Hayden, big guys, 275 pounds, have come in and they're really just punching holes through the San Diego defense. And the San Diego defense has been good the whole game, but they're now really struggling to be able to hold on. So you can see that they're able to just be able to create this fast ball from these big guys. And when it comes out, what you're going to see is that in the tackle, there's going to be a hand that comes in from Ben Seema to knock that ball on. Now what we're seeing is one of the challenges that Major League Rugby teams are going to have is we've got players who, for many of them, it's their first time playing at this level or with this volume. And as we get into the last 15 minutes, you're going to see some people that really struggle to keep up. And the benches are going to become really important.
There you see William Rasalika picked up a little cut earlier in the game. He has to get retaped. Oh, there you see a little bit of claret still coming out of that.
So again, he's staying on the field. So when he stays on the field, he doesn't need any referee permission to come back on if he steps off. If you step off, then you've got to wait for a stoppage on play. So smart play by the trainer to be like, hey, don't walk off the field, stay here. Referee has to slow it down, then we'll get to play. And for Seattle, what they want to do is they don't want to play fast. They want the clock to run in between stoppages. They want to let that play go. All they want to do is walk away from their first game with a win. And that right now, they're in a great position to do that. If I was them right now, I would drive the scrum and get another penalty. I wouldn't even take the ball out. So let's get another penalty. Let's kick to touch. Let's play a slow game.
Well, there's been some replacements on both front rows. Let's see if that dominance has shifted. Bit of a stalemate here. Flat pass, Rasalika. Tough to contain one-on-one, the big Fijian. Sherman now, he's isolated, will need some help. Tulutahu comes in and saves the day. Now it's the Seawolves, close.
Advantage, not rolling.
They have the penalty advantage.
The knock on there.
This is almost a gift 3 points. They have an 11-point lead. This would put them out to 2 converted try lead.
Scrum called.
And again, it takes more time off the clock here, but they're going to go for the scrum.
So I'm not sure that's a great call, because with the 3 points, what you get is you get 2 converted tries away from a tie. So you take that 3 points and you say, we're going to make you score 2 converted tries, and you haven't done that yet in the game. So to me, I'm not sure, as much as they've had scrum dominance, I'm not sure this is the right play. Of course, this is the sort of thing as a coach, you're like, no, no, no. Then when they score, you say, yes. So the call here is going to be based on the outcome that they get.
Get on the line. 10, get on the line. Crouch.
Well, let's see if the commentator's curse can strike here in Seattle this afternoon. It'll be Seattle putting this ball in the shadows of the goalpost here at Starfire Sports Stadium. Good scrum, good drive, good control. Inching closer. They peel off. And there's your third penalty try, the dominance of the scrum. Well, can we give the scrum the man of the match? Let's get the whole forward pack up here.
You know, I was just thinking that. I said the front row for Seattle have actually changed this game, both the starters and the subs, and it's just been something that San Diego have not been able to deal with, and still San Diego actually trying to do a quick tap penalty as we watch the control. So Shermer here right at the back of the scrum. Phenomenal job keeping that in, but San Diego don't stay square, and because they don't stay square in the wheel and the scrum wheels, the referee has called it again. It looks like Mikey Teo went down, so they've had 3 penalty tries, and 3 times San Diego have tried to go quickly, and you can't do that. So, but it looks like in trying to go quickly, Mikey Teo went down.
And there you see the crowd who have piled in massive numbers here.
I think that, you know, this is a chance now for Seattle to get together and say, we've got 11 minutes left, let's play smart. There's nothing much San Diego can do, except San Diego has to say, hey, we have to be able to create some line breaks. They haven't been able to do that. Seattle's outside defense drifting across the field has been able to hold the San Diego outside attack and outside players. One of the challenges, Dan, that you have in a tournament like this is that when you see a great player like Mikey Teo down and being looked after by the trainers, is what's the future going to look like? They've got a game next week, and it looks like he's going to be hobbling off, and it looks like it might be a knee injury. Losing a player like that for some games is really tough.
So did I. Yeah, that's it too.
And some great camaraderie there as you see the Seawolves helping a San Diego player come off. And that's just something that makes rugby special. So that's Peter Tiberio, and they've played together, I'm sure. And so helping your teammate off, even though they're playing for the other team, is one of the things that makes rugby great.
He's already up. Okay.
34-16 into the final 10 minutes almost here. Seema, San Diego, they are able to regather. Boyer. Seema, flat pass, goes wide. Salabur. He goes for a jinking run, bumps his way like a pinball all the way up to the 22.
Play on.
Boyer now finds the try scorer in Tarori. Goes wide. Here's Dolan. Great one-on-one tackle from Crowder. Brings the big man down. Tarori. He's met by Crumry and another strong tackle. Been super impressed with Crumry and Paulson in the 5 and 6 for Seattle. Got through a mountain of work today, both of them.
Still unable to create that line break though. Seattle are just soaking up this pressure and just being able to hold on, because as the ball goes wide, San Diego aren't running any lines to hold the drift.
That's Tuololo. Now comes back down with Harmon.
9 blue.
Looks like there's a penalty advantage to San Diego, so now they've got a real chance to be able to throw the ball around.
They've got to throw some caution to the wind at this point, Pete, don't they? They try the crossfield kick, Dolan.
Still have it.
Got to put that one right on the try line so he can catch that one and just fall over and score. They still have the advantage, though.
15 in the way. Advantage, new advantage.
Slow ball for the Legion.
Ball's out. Here's your mark. No. If you're going to kill it, I'm not going to let you go.
So really good defense by Seattle. San Diego moved the ball from sideline to sideline, but weren't able to create a line break, and that inability for them to be able to create line breaks has really been one of the differences in the game, because even though their scrum has struggled, they've had enough of the ball to actually be able to be in this game, but they just haven't been able to break down the defense.
We talk about that. How do they fix that, though, Pete? Like, they've got some great weapons in that back line. Obviously losing a big one in Mike Teo, but How do they create those mismatches and those opportunities?
They have to have some people that run harder lines out wide. Right now, they're just looking to step themselves, and I think that's really the issue that they have. So they've got to make sure that when the ball goes wide, someone changes their line, runs off the ball, and looks to strike through. And when you don't do that, you become easy to defend.
David, can you give me the time?
Let's get this fucking ball back.
So opportunity here for San Diego. When you're struggling in the scrum, what you need is a quick strike. So the ball gets struck really very fast, right to the number 8. Cam Donan's great hands at the back. He should be able to pick up, just win the ball. That's all you care about. Don't worry about any set play.
Crouch!
Into the final 10 minutes here. 18-point lead for the home side, the Seawolves.
Set!
San Diego with the scrum on the 5.
Already turned.
Here. Goal line, he's onside.
Dolan taps quickly.
He's short.
Drops the head, just short of the line. They go again, they're over. Is the ball on the ground? No, we're waiting for the call.
Get on 12. Hold on. Time out. Yeah, hold on.
Really interesting play. So the person at the back of the ruck
Hold
picked it up
on.
and went over. The question is, were they in the ruck?
We'll go to the try.
Give him
He
the
was
try.
initially,
Absolutely.
yeah. The white line got me. Yeah. It's a try. It's my fault.
Great refereeing there from
The
Derek
white line,
Summers.
that's my fault.
He got a little confused because you can see the box there, the white line for the soccer.
Okay.
Double marked, rugby the yellow line. They got the ball in the yellow line, and hey, we all get confused sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, those of us that have played a lot of rugby in the States are used to having multiple lines on the field. That's not unusual, and so sometimes you can get confused. But great refereeing right there by Derek Summers to check in with the AR and say, hey, was that a try? And the AR said yes.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a number here. This was the short arm. Dolan taps once off the mark, taps the second time on the mark. Almost gets there, the big man. It is
Great
the yellow
body
line.
position.
Look how close he is. Let's see who picks up off the back there.
So it's right here where in the maul, in the ruck, that he picks it up and jumps over, and it's, I think, number 20. So I think that was Drew Gaffney, it looked like to me.
Oh, we'll give it to Gaffney. Why not? Great try, Gaffney. Now, down by 11. Still plenty of time on the clock here. They go back to Seema. Kicks, tries to split the back 3, does so. Ball sits up though. And driven back downfield. You're going to want to try to keep this in hand as much as possible here, San Diego.
Great
Seattle.
open field tackle. We'll hold it. Great tackle there.
One.
Boyer. Feigned a box kick, then runs down that blind side. Boyer 2. Pat Blair now. They come
Danny, watch
wide.
that behind me.
Boyer, quickly, Seema. Salabert can't hold it, spills it forward, the outside centre. And now Mack has the advantage for the knock on. He jinks his way upfield, Mack flicks it out. Beautiful take in there from Shepherd. Shermer inside, great ball. Seawolves into the 22 now. That was Hayden with a strong run.
Play.
Shepherd across field, Paulson finds Khalifi to the beast, Duchel. Back to Paulson out, what a try! And the Seawolves, they go absolutely crazy here.
And that, I think, was the try of the game, to be able to pull that off in the 75th minute of the first game of the season, to be able to take it from one side all the way to the other side, just phenomenal. And right here, you can see the offloading and the support that comes through, and look at the drive going right here, just unstoppable. Just unstoppable, but that all came from all the go forward that happened on the right, and you can just feel the confidence of the Seawolves, excuse me, getting my sea creatures mixed up. The Seawolves really rise as they've played better, their rugby has got better and better as they've gone through the game.
Like I said, we all make mistakes. The colour scheme, the city, it's all there.
Well, I think the plan is for this to be a little bit like following in the MLS with the Sounders, and so the Sounders now play in the NFL stadium. So we have 4,000 here, and hopefully 10 years from now we'll have 40,000.
Conversion unsuccessful.
I see. Okay.
39-23. San Diego, though, through Dolan, secure that kickoff. We are into the final moments here of this game. And the Seawolves, they continue to pound pressure. They get the turnover at the breakdown, and they will slow things down here.
Get this up. Who's coming off, Dave?
So this game is done, and there's just 3 or 4 minutes left, and so not much for San Diego. But if they can score 2 tries, they can still get a bonus point. So you can get a bonus point if you score 4 tries, and that's designed for these teams to continue to play. So they've got 2 tries, they'll need 2 more to get that bonus point.
There's a race to the top 4 to get to those semi-finals in June. The Seawolves, they have come out of the gate barking. Do Seawolves bark? I'm not too sure. I'll Google that one and find out. Is San Diego able to turn this ball over the sideline? That's not what they want, though. They really don't have an option, though, under pressure inside their own 22. They have to clear that ball, but just again evaporates more time off the clock here.
So the last time the Seawolves were here, they got the ball, they attacked in the middle, and for the first time they actually had the forwards pick and go along the edge, and that ended up in the try. That's what you want to do with 2 minutes left. Don't want to play wide, just hold on to the ball and just have your forwards take it down the field.
And now the Seawolves looking to put the exclamation mark on this performance. Ball doesn't go to hand, now it's towed through. Tiberio, under pressure, goes back, Holder under pressure, Evans, that's off the foot. It'll be play on. Now Crowder back there. As they secure possession, but lose 70 meters in the process.
Well, they didn't take my advice and they moved it wide, and then they find themselves back here.
Hold up, that one's deflected. Everyone's onside. There's Switzer. Moves it towards the middle of the field. And now they tow it through Seema. Chase, not as fast as the ball as it trickles over the sideline. As we inch closer and closer to full time here in what I'm sure will be a greatly appreciated Seawolves victory.
So Ben Seema is a young fly half, and he's very talented, but I think he'll look back on today and I think he'll be disappointed. When San Diego were up and playing well in the first half, he really kicked some balls. They weren't great kicks. I think they were poor decisions, and even there, he kicked the ball away with a minute to go. He has to be able to trust his team to be able to play with a little bit more patience.
Carry in, 5 meter. And
we'll come back for a 5 meter scrum as that one is carried over the dead ball line by Duchel. Really not many options there for the big man.
So if you take the ball and you're near your line and you take it into the try zone, then it's a 5 meter scrum to the opposition. And this is probably the last play of the game, and I think it would be really appropriate for this to finish on a scrum, because this was the set piece that determined the win for Seattle.
Bind. Set. Let's go.
And scrum collapse, not before Dolan can secure possession off the back.
Move.
Can San Diego end with the consolation
19,
try?
not supporting your body weight. Guys, relax over there. You can kick for a line out. You can kick for a line out.
So this is another one of the new laws, which is, it used to be that on a penalty, if you kick to touch, that would be the end of the game. But the new law says, because there's not a restart in play, if you kick to touch and it makes touch, you still have time for the line out, even if time is over. So this will be the last play.
You good?
of the game as long as there's not a penalty.
And it's been a great performance here from the Seawolves.
He's receiver.
39 points over San Diego. San Diego, they'll be looking to the injury ward.
The last foot right there.
Hopefully Mike Tao, nothing serious.
Moving sideways, let's
They
go.
will welcome back a gluttony of stars over the next few weeks.
Great defense there by Seattle to be able to hold that off. And I think one of the things that's interesting is the fact that no one's left. Everyone is still here watching this game, even though the game's been over. And a great turnover by Crowder. You can hear the crowd.
Hold, 9, hold.
And Phil Mack, he will put that one over the sideline. And there we see the crowd very, very happy with the result. 39-23, the Seawolves won out victors. When we return, highlights and man of the match coming right up after this. Major League Rugby is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America's finest city runs on Dunkin'. Stop by in downtown San Diego or drive through in National City. IHOP, the best way to do breakfast all day. 22 friendly locations in San Diego to serve you. And by 100 Proof, North Park, San Diego's favorite new home for great food and handcrafted cocktails. And welcome back. We're joined by our knockaround sunglasses man of the match, Ray Barkwell, hooker for the Seattle Seawolves. And Ray, really, the scrum was the difference here today. 3 penalty tries at the scrum. Was that something coming into the game you felt you were going to have that kind of advantage over San Diego?
I wouldn't think we thought we'd have that kind of advantage, but we set out a few goals this year. We thought our strong part would be the set piece. So we looked at the guys we had, the strengths that we had, said, hey, we're going to be a set piece team. But if you look, we have a complementing pack and backs working together all the time. So, you know what I mean, to get 3 pushover scrums shows the effort, the work the boys have been doing through the last 2 months.
So first game in the MLR, what do you think?
You do not see that out there. And that's Test Rugby fans. That's the level you get at Test Rugby, and to see it now at the professional level in the U.S. is exciting. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever see the day professional rugby came. If you asked me when I was 15 years old when I started playing, so to see it right now is so exciting. You look at the fans, you look at the people, you look at the buzz in the country, even around the world. People are talking about it, you know, because they know the sleeping giants here. I'm scared being Canadian, but I'm excited being a North American. So I'm really proud to be a part of it.
I tell you what I find exciting, seeing the name Ray Barkwell on the roster still. Love calling you champion, and we can't wait to see you back here next week as the Seawolves take on the Raptors.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Thank you, Ray Barkwell, our knock-around sunglasses man of the match. Well, thanks for joining us in Seattle, where the Seawolves have defeated the Legion by a score of 39 points to 23. For Pete Steinberg and our entire crew at Major League Rugby, I'm Dan Power saying good night till next time.